Welcome back, guys, to Phoenix Wright Spirit of Justice, where we finally began the trial of Autopsy Wright for the killing of Man of Mystery, his name seems to be, with a foreign prosecutor, of course, here from Khura'in. We now have to deal with a new angle of attack because supposedly he has a power, with Ema now somewhat swayed to at least give testimony, but still declared on our side. We now just press for any information we can get. We then intend to reveal the secrets behind their magic tricks during the show. Did Mr. Rias now? Hold it! I'm going to reveal all of Troop Gamaye's secrets on stage today. That's what Mr. Rias himself said, right? Right, but he didn't exactly specify which Gamaye secrets he was talking about. But the prosecution thinks he was referring to the secrets behind Troop Gamaye's magic. Yes, that is the prosecution's assertion. When the accused realized that Mr. Rias was to reveal her family's most closely guarded secrets, she naturally panicked. So basically, Trucy's notebook was hiding Mr. Rias' things because he has stolen it himself? I see. Truly a motive that only a magician could have. Yes, that's what the prosecution believes anyway. That was the victim's plan for revenge, and while he did in fact steal the notebook, hold it! The fingerprints all over it after all. Do you really believe what you're saying, Detective Skye? Do you really think Miss Wright killed Mr. Rias to stop him getting his revenge? Oh, of course I don't think that. The Trucy we know would never... Keep your private considerations separate from your public duty. I warned you about this very thing before the trial began, did I not, Detective Skye? Yes, you did. Please recite my exact words to you. Ema Skye, you are a detective first and foremost, not the accused friend. Remember your duty and fulfill it faithfully. Excellent. So you do remember what I said to you. Your devotion to your work will be rewarded, for the Holy Mother sees all. This Holy Mother is no scientific concept I've ever heard of. Those two really don't get along, do they? Well, science and religion go together about as well as oil and water. As I was saying, the defendant murdered him before he had a chance to reveal the secrets. Hold it! I'm sorry, but what exactly is the basis for claiming it was murder? Beats me. What? The basis is beats me. You'll have to ask Prosecutor Sahdmadhi over there, because he hasn't told me his reasoning either. Detective Skye, your feeding of information to the defense has not gone unnoticed by my eyes. Help! The bad karma of acts which go against your duty will impinge upon you in your next life. But even before that, it may impinge upon your job in the form of a transfer. Ha! But please don't get me kicked out of the forensics unit, anything but that! Poor Ema, she's really been risking everything for us. Well, Prosecutor Sahdmadhi, what are your grounds for claiming homicide? It was the luminous tape in the understage passage. I realized that it had been moved. Moves so that Mr. Rias would climb up into the downstage coffin by mistake. What? Mr. Rias, who was waiting in the understage passage, was supposed to have used the upstage ladder shown here on the left. He was to climb up into the coffin that had been set up in the backstage area, after being turned into a stuffed dragon during Act 1. Mr. Rias was supposed to come back to life and emerge from that coffin. But the luminous tape had been moved to mark the downstage ladder. So the victim climbed up into the coffin on the stage itself by mistake. The very same coffin the accused thrust his sword into. And you have proof that it was my client who moved the tape. But of course, Detective Skye. Oh, that's right! I identified the defendant's fingerprints on the luminous tape. You what? He actually had proof? Well, defense, are you finally ready to let it all go and move on? Absolutely not. Detective, please add the information about the prints on the tape to your testimony. The defendant's prints were on the tape. I guess she must have moved it during the show. Can I get anything out of that then? Well, this is obviously our statement to go for, so we've not got the information dump thing that often happens as our first statement of the trial where we just press. We actually have to do something here? What made you think to check the luminous tape for prints? Well, I bet it was detective's intuition, or she just checks everything. I tested not just the tape, but just about everywhere for fingerprints. Exactly. Oh? I dusted pretty much every single surface in the theatre. I mean, it was so nice to be able to dust for prints without anybody getting mad at me. It's great that you're enthusiastic, Emma, but there is such a thing as too enthusiastic. The tape was moved to guide Mr. Rios into the coffin that was downstage. If that's true, it does sound like a murder rather than an accident. It certainly doesn't help that Trucy's prints are on the tape, but she probably laid them there in the first place. Are there any alternate prints on that tape? Then gloves too. I wish I knew what sound would even be appropriate to make in this situation. Blah! Something like that, maybe? Alright, so we're gonna have to probably present something to that sixth statement. It's not just a press job. So we're talking fingerprints, defendants' fingerprints. Do we have anything that comes up with that? Fingerprinting results. In addition to prints on the victim and body, a set of unknown fingerprints were found on the top. Are we just kind of saying, well, do you know who these fingerprints are yet? Or stuff like that? What else we got? Contract, Trucy statements. It's gonna be that I present to it. What does the autopsy report say? Cause of death, shock as a result of being stabbed through the back with a sharp blade. The victim's real name was Man of Mystery. That said, we have questions about that as well. Also, what time was the show? I don't know anymore. Right, let's present the fingerprinting results, because that's obviously what's kind of going to come up here. We have unknown prints on the top panel. Trucy wore gloves during the show, so none of her fingerprints were found. Maybe that's the point we're getting to.
Objection!
But it's got to be that. I'm sorry, Detective Skye, but there's a flaw in your testimony. Oh, really? The prosecution is claiming that Miss Wright moved the understage tape during the show, but during the show, she was wearing gloves in order to guide the victim into the coffin downstage. But it doesn't make sense that she would leave prints on the tape at that time. It doesn't? Please consider the fingerprinting results of the main coffin, which shows that not one of my client's fingerprints was found on or in it. That's true. We didn't find any of her prints on that coffin. I think you've realised what the flaw in your testimony is. Claiming Miss Wright left fingerprints on the tape during the show is inconsistent with the facts. Because she was wearing gloves during the show. Oh! She must have left the prints sometime before the show started. In other words, her prints do not prove she moved the tape to mislead the victim. The prosecution's investigation was insufficient. Oh my! But on a personal level, I'm very happy about that. Well, Prosecutor Sahdmadhi, if the defense's argument is true, then you have no evidence the defendant moved the tape to deceive the victim. I see. Apparently the defense is more intelligent than I had thought. More than a stink bug, at any rate. Come on, you can bump me up to at least a stag beetle now, now can't you? Would that really be any better? Of course, way better. Stag beetles are cool with those huge mandibles of theirs. If the defense wishes to be promoted to a stag beetle, then answer me this question. Alright, shoot. Even with no evidence that the accused moved the tape to misguide the victim, the victim still climbed the ladder using the tape as a guide. and entered the coffin on the stage. The accused then thrust a sword into said coffin with the victim in it.
So what you're saying is, the fact remains that the victim was stabbed to death, right?
Precisely. However, this does drastically change one aspect of this case. If the accused did not lead the victim into the coffin on purpose, then it means the victim's death could have been accidental. If it was indeed an accident, the defense can argue that it was involuntary manslaughter.
I see. If it was involuntary manslaughter, they could plead extenuating circumstances, and the severity of the crime could be mitigated.
Defense, if you believe the accused did not murder the victim, then do you argue that it was an accident? This is it, the all-important question. Defense argues that Mr. Reyes' death was not an accident. It was definitely an act of murder. The defense maintains the defendant is entirely innocent. We believe that it wasn't an accident, but murder. And what's more, we believe it was committed by a third party. A third party? As in the true culprit is someone else? Don't we always say this? This is the common theme. We must make a third party exist. That is quite a brazen claim to make, and one wholly without grounds. Your voice is as loud as your suit, and your mind echoes just as loudly in emptiness. Surely, you were but a loud red pepper in your previous life.
I've been demoted to a vegetable?
Wow. I didn't know a person could be reincarnated as a non-sentient plant. In any case, I do have grounds to make this claim. When you think about reincarnation, then surely he was the best red pepper ever to be reincarnated as a human, right? Is that how it works? Let's just hear this reasoning of yours then. Alright, but before I give it, there is one question we need to address. If the victim was killed by some third party, then the sword the defendant thrust into the coffin wasn't the cause of death. If that's the case, then how did we wind up with a dead body inside the coffin?
A very good question. Now let's hear your opinion, Mr. Justice. How did the victim's body wind up inside the coffin?
He was killed in the coffin, it was magic, or he was killed under stage, which is where we'd have to imagine it kind of took place, and then stuffed inside somehow. Maybe using a stage lift, the one that was already up? I don't know. What if the victim was killed under the stage before being put into the coffin? In other words, what if the victim was already dead in the coffin from the get-go?
Oh, I see. In that case, the defendant's sword wouldn't have been the cause of death. How do you respond, Prosecutor Sahdmadhi?
That is the third time.
A third time of what?
Yeah. What the heck is this? Nah! Ow, my head! What do you think you're doing? Even the merciful Holy Mother loses patience if she is struck 3 times. Since you never learn, you need to be punished. Won't you let me worry about what I need and don't need? It is what you deserve for interfering with my sacred last rites for the victim. You are a brainless lawyer chasing phantoms. You know nothing. Let this humble servant of the Holy Mother give you an edifying sermon. A sermon? Now? There is a passage in the sacred scriptures of Khura'in. A cornered frog will swallow even a snake. Huh?
A cornered lawyer has unexpectedly struck back hard against the prosecution. Did I get it right?
No, for I am not done with my sermon. And yet, the frog still dies, its belly bitten and torn from within. Just great. And in this case, you are that frog, defense. What exactly is your point anyway? Let us assume for a moment that the victim was killed under the stage. Who, then, had the opportunity to do so during the show? Let's see. The people in the show were Bonny De Famme, the victim Mysterious, and Autopsy Wright. Bonny De Famme was on stage throughout the entire show, as easily confirmed by the footage from the show. Which leaves us with only one suspect, Autopsy Wright. Now, do you see? The accused killed Mysterious as he waited on standby in the understage passage, and then placed his dead body in the coffin above, thus making the murder look like an accident. No! O great and merciful Holy Mother, thus another putrid mind has been guided toward enlightenment. I can't believe I swallowed this trick question whole. I feel more comfortable in a courtroom where I only get mumbles and not hatred. Sorry, but I have to raise an objection here. Athena, what are you... There's something I want to point out, Apollo. And who might you be? You strike me as a mere child in countenance. I may be young, but I have an attorney's badge just the same. And you would contribute to this discussion in that capacity? I most certainly would. Oh? You just argue that the defendant killed the victim under the stage. Let me remind you that Miss Wright is a girl. Clearly. Surely you didn't raise an objection simply to point out such an obvious fact. Your Honor, please send for this little child's guardian to come take her home. But I'm not done with my sermon. You don't need to talk like Prosecutor Sahdmadhi, you know. Listen, the victim was killed in the understage passage. Then his body would then have to be hauled up to the stage, right? However, Miss Wright is a young girl, and a pretty petite one at that. She couldn't possibly have hefted that large body up and put it in the coffin.
That's true. It does seem like it would be a rather difficult task for the defendant. I don't think even I could do it.
What do you think of that, prosecutor? Who's the child now? In my religion, the priestesses of Khura'ism are revered as the pillars of our beliefs. So I naturally hold nothing but deep respect for women. I also think highly of the female perspective. Says the man who called this fair maiden a little child. Who's a fair maiden? I agree that your point is worth discussing, defense. How indeed was the dead body raised up into the coffin? By the accused, Autopsy Wright, that is. You're committed to pointing the finger at her no matter what, huh? Then you explain how that'd even be possible. But of course. There was a way for even a small creature like her to raise the victim's body up. Huh? Wait! You really can explain it? I foresaw that our arguments would come to this, so I have prepared a witness.
Well, I admire your readiness, prosecutor.
It is really not that difficult when one can read the ultimate outcome of any trial. He couldn't have really predicted that things would turn out like this, could he? It's pretty hard to believe. Excuse me, but may I step down now?
Yes, I suppose you may.
One moment, Detective Skye. I'm sorry for, you know, the way I handled all of this. You did a fine job, Detective. Your testimony was invaluable. It was? Yes, you served well as a detective and did not allow your personal feelings to interfere. You overcame the conflicted emotions you felt and performed your duty admirably. You will be rewarded for your fine work. Oh! Thank you. I hope we can work together again in the future. Emma seems bewildered by the unexpected praise. I guess he's a pretty nice person, like they say. As long as you're not up against him.
And now then, let us call the next witness.
Who'd have guessed it? Witness, please state your name and occupation. Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the court. It's very nice to meet all of you. I'm a lagomorphing illusionist from the land of fairy tales, Bonny De Famme. I do not know what lagomorphing means. I'm guessing it's some kind of animal thing. I can't wait to do some magic tricks for all of you. Please, witness. There is a time and a place for all things, including magic. Ah, but it would be okay if I do just a little magic, right? Come on, please. Look, everybody's waiting. Now's my chance to shine. Can't shut me up again. That is your second time. My second time doing what? There will be no further warnings. You should know that from our preparatory meeting, correct? Yeah. Is no one exempt from His Holiness's rosary of suffering?
May we have your testimony, witness, once you've recovered from your disappointment?
Well, as a huge fan of Trucy's, I don't really want to testify against her. But I guess I have to, don't I? As a huge fan of Trucy's, huh? I hate her. I loathe her. I can't stand that Trucy Wright. Just because she's a good at magic, she thinks she's all that. So this is exactly what that sniveling brat deserves.
Sure, you're a real fan, alright? Destroying Trucy, you mean?
So we hear about the understage passage. I really can't believe that Trucy killed Mr. Rias. I guess it's possible for a small girl to lift a dead body up if she used a stage lift. Is it possible? Could Trucy really have... If Trucy did use a stage lift, I think she must have used stage lift number 2. I was on stage for the entire show, by the way.
You were on stage the whole time? And you're sure about that?
There's no question. The entire audience could testify to that fact. What's more, she is shown clearly in the TV show footage as well. I couldn't possibly have killed Mr. Rias. Not little old me. Therefore, the only person who could have killed the victim on the stage is the accused. Furthermore, by using a stage lift, even a petite young lady could have raised the body up to the stage without difficulty. You've got to be kidding me.
Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Well, there's a lot about the stage lift in this. But to find what statement we want to get, we want to present anything to, it's time to press, press, press. I really can't believe that Trucy killed Mr. Rias. You said you're a huge fan of Trucy's, isn't that right? Oh yes, I even became a magician because I wanted to be just like her. The first time I saw her, she was performing at the Wonder Bar. She was only in junior high back then, but she got up on stage with tons of confidence. And then she proceeded to win my heart with her astonishing tricks and winning smile.
She certainly sounds like she means all of that. So, finally being able to perform with her must have been quite a treat for you, right?
Oh yes, after all, it was my chance to have her see me. Not just as a fan, but as a fellow magician. But then that horrible accident happened. It was not an accident. It was murder. Witness, please explain if you would. How a small young woman such as Trucy Wright could have raised the body. I guess it's possible for a small girl to lift a dead body up if she uses a stage lift.
Hold
it! What makes you think it would be possible? It's not like you tried it out yourself, right? Well, actually we did try it out for ourselves.
You did?
Detective Skye, if you would. Oh! So that's why you made me do that. Detective Skye, what did he have you do? The prosecutor asked me to try raising one of the male police officers with a stage lift, without a single word of explanation as to why he was making me do it. You're kidding. as if he really can foresee all of our counter-arguments. Do not underestimate this humble servant of the Holy Mother.
More like haughty.
I guess that means Trucy could have lifted the dead body up. Does that mean... Is it possible? Could Trucy really have...
Oh, sorry, I didn't even press that one. I skipped straight forward, expecting pain.
Could Trucy really have?
Hold
it! Is what possible? Could Trucy really have what, Mr. Famme? Please finish your sentence. Ah, well,
Don't try to beat around the bush. Come right out and say it.
Why not tell this court what you really believe? What I really believe? Of course I don't believe Trucy could ever commit murder. Such an amazing, wonderful magician would never do such a thing. But taking all the facts into account, what else can I think?
I know of at least 3 other unflattering things you really think about Trucy.
How can you attack this girl when she's obviously speaking with reserve?
There is such a thing as reading between the lines, Mr. Justice. It's sad how the youth of today lack the ability to do such a basic thing. Looking at me like that isn't going to help me stick my foot in my mouth less, Your Honor.
Witness, please describe what the accused might have used to lift the dead body. Alright.
No additional statement thus far.
If Trucy did use a stage lift, I think she must use stage lift number 2.
Hold it!
Stage lift number 2? You mean this lift shown here on the left? That's right. With a stage lift, I think even a small girl could easily lift a dead body up to the stage.
So that makes her the murderer, in your opinion?
Of course not. I believe in Trucy. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of hers.
Oh, brother. How long is she going to keep this act up?
Defense, what position was stage lift number 2 in after the show?
Let's see. If I recall, it was in the fully raised position. Ah!
And the reason why it was fully raised is because the accused used it to lift the victim's body. Wouldn't you agree? Feel free to slowly mull it over while you roast over the flames of hell, you evil red pepper.
So now I'm also evil?
I was on stage for the entire show, by the way.
Hold it! Why is this a statement? There's nothing useful here.
You'd have a single spare moment to slip down to the understage passage, like the entire first act, or the break, for goodness sake. Huh? Don't tell me you suspect me now. I'm just trying to do my job by fully examining your alibi. Depending on how solid it is, I might have to suspect you, yes. You gotta be kidding me. Don't spit on my head and tell me it's raining, lawyer boy. I'm right there in the footage. Or are you too much of an idiot to see?
Huh? Mr. Famme, are you feeling alright? You seem suddenly different.
Oh, oops. Where did that come from, right? Oh my, I seem to have snapped there for a second, didn't I? Haha!
You didn't just snap, you broke character just now.
In any case, I was on stage the whole time performing magic. I mean, you saw me in the footage, right? My dazzling and flawless performance.
Flawless? That's odd, considering what you told me.
You said that you'd made a mistake with where you positioned Mr. Hat.
Mr. Famme, to what is the defense referring?
Well, I made a little mistake on stage. I was in charge of operating Mr. Hat, you see. According to the script, I was supposed to place him to the left of the coffin. But I flubbed it up and made him stand to the right of the coffin instead. And because of that mistake, Trucy had to move the stage lifts around. I feel really bad about messing Trucy up like that with my goof.
Oh?
Darn it. I don't see any inconsistencies in her testimony. Now, do you know who the real killer is? Come on, Gramps, don't just sit there. Hand down your ruling pronto. Do it quick before you keel over up there.
I beg your pardon.
Oops. Oh, what's got into me? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, sorry my butt.
I give her another 5 minutes before she tears off that mask. Or maybe another 5 minutes before we tear it off, because she's breaking already without anything really pressuring her. We know she's evil, but exactly how evil? We still haven't brought Roger Ratins into the whole affair either, though he has alibi. He obviously has taken part in this in some sense, and we're only at the bare start of the trial. It seems just pressing is all we need to do there, as we continue on next time in Phoenix Wright, Spirit of Justice. I'll see you then for more. Bye-bye. Tomorrow!